Talk Show Magazine. Une équipe solide pour un magazine solide de 10h à midi, du lundi au samedi. Reprise de 1h à 3h du matin sur Télé Indépendance, chaîne 18.10 Digital Miami, BPX TV Réseau et Haïti en direct à travers le monde entier. Tout cela pour vous apporter le bonheur auditif chez vous. Avec des rubriques différentes. Les femmes d'abord, causément des chaises. Qui ça la jeunesse besoin? Cuisine ses richesses. HPP mini-série. Bel Talk Show Magazine avec Sonny Belenforme, Aubry Blague, Régine Bastien et Gauthier Bernard. Bel Talk Show Magazine, pour toutes vos publicités, promotions et invitations, veuillez nous contacter au 786 642 35 35. Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Salut chers téléspectateurs, un plaisir pour moi de vous retrouver à notre Miami. Mais aujourd'hui c'est un district 4. BPX TV Réseau, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne, l'espoir des événements, l'espoir de la communauté haïtienne, c'est bien nous-mêmes. Moi, pour le fond, Tichita parler avec nous là, je dis à nous dans le forum et dans le district 4 pour nous connaître qui sa communauté a besoin, qui sa communauté a gain pour le dire avec regarder dans notre Miami. Pour dire ça au besoin, ça nous a remis, qui ça nous voulait. Nous avons son kit Gove et qui dans 12 et 15 et 12 en 5000 en nord-ouest et 125e Street dans la zone nord-ouest, côté nous est là, que nous avons regardé dans notre Miami. Nous allons pour nous parler, nous allons pour nous entendre, nous allons dire ça nous voulait, ça nous besoin. Faites entendre nous la communauté haïtienne. Nous allons gagner un bon moment ensemble avec Citia. L'invitation sera été lancée par City Notre Miami avec BPX TV Réseau. L'espoir de la culture haïtienne. Live. Ensemble avec tous mes camarades, Sonny Belenforme et Kenny. Restez branchés. Enjoy.
Bel Talk Show Magazine.
Bon, il est belle là. Belle.
Aubry,
Koto est là.
moi dans le studio, et ou même quand est là.
Nan Sherlin Bloom.
Ou pral shopping, ou pas menin,
Belle, viens voir.
m'a vini.
Wow. Wow.
P.I.
P.I.
Beautiful. P.I.
Blandi P.I. Nan Sherlin Bloom.
Tout ça m'a pris avant, m'a pris tout jodi. Serre, nan Sherry Bloom.
Bella,
Aubry,
est-ce que songe condition nan Sherlin Bloom?
très bien mon frère. 3 costumes, 3 chemises, 3 cravates, 3 paires chaussettes, 3 mouchoirs poche pour seulement $373.
Nan Sherlin
Bloom, kon sa m'vle dou.
For the past 5 years, they've been bringing you the biggest party Thanksgiving weekend. South Florida, mark your calendars. As Glacio Tushendus and Explosion Entertainment presents the official Free Thanksgiving Bash with a grand performance by Back in the Game, Eki. It's Eki for the Free Thanksgiving Bash inside of Club Tatiana, Hollandale. Old Soul, one of HMI's biggest. Before the big feast, we'll be turning up in Hollywood. Wednesday night, November 24th, inside of Club Tatiana, Hollandale. Own Soul.
This girl is a blessing, blessing up.
It's Kenny IT. Halftime by DJ Paz and DJ Enol. Hosted by AJ305. The pre-Thanksgiving Bash. Wednesday night, November 24th. Club Tatiana. Dress code will be strictly enforced. Tickets are available now at eventbrite.com. For info and table reservations, call 786-277-2854 or 786-277-1093.
Not Miami, how you ready? A big event is coming your way. Yes, la 6e édition de PHMA Music Awards arrive. Ça va se passer à Not Miami Beach le samedi 15 janvier 2022. 2022, nouvelle année, nouvelle occasion pour PHMA Music Awards d'honorer les artistes. La diva Carole de Mesme Tiva, Cadillac Beijing, Florence Luce, équipe New Look Down in the Sky, Felicia was impossible. Good Boy, Michel Guillaume, Vibe, Maestro, Classe. Choumi, Harmonica et Oswald. Ce même 15 janvier 2022, le commissaire Paul Villard et PHMA Music Awards vont honorer et promouvoir également les chefs d'entreprise, infirmières, professeurs. Nous tout attendons ça. 15 janvier 2022, notre Miami Beach, nous pral by look là. Trace to impress. Tapis rouge, 5h. Spectacle, 7h du soir. Halftime, DJ Pass et DJ FMA. Contact 786 357 95 58 et 37 73 14 43. Nous commençons à voter sur www.haitianmusicawards.info. On prend son ticket et puis let's go. Ça va être le show du HMA Music Awards. C'est no more.
Amina, fais le sortir la caméra.
Montez un peu ma suivi.
Amants du cinéma, Maura Junior Etienne vous invite à la grande première de sa nouvelle série Massuffé qui se tiendra le dimanche 5 décembre à 5h PM au prestigieux ballroom de Marriott Hotel situé au 5150 Town Center Circle, Boca Raton. Avant la projection, Queen Maya vous fera jouir la richesse de son répertoire. Joshua Bonchois vous séduira par son style si adulé par la jeunesse. Et le comédien-acteur Atis Panche comme invité d'honneur et maître de cérémonie. Il va se mentionner Guy Wewe Live, invité de Marc. La première partie de la série Massuffé met en vedette Benita Jacques venant du Canada, Huberman Saint-Hilaire, Ederson Klatt, Maura Junior Etienne, Queen Maya, Omer Jean et bien d'autres encore. Dimanche 5 décembre, Marriott Hotel à Boca Raton, la série Massuffé en grande première. Admission $50, VIP $100. Tickets en vente à Chris Stephanie's, RC Caribbean Restaurant, Telecono, Prosperity Restaurant, Quincy's Corner et sur eventbrite.com at Massuffé Series Première. Info 561 503 0035.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Définitivement, nous, on va aller suivre avec nous, avec beaucoup d'intérêt, que Vanessa City of Miami Clay et Vanessa Joseph, c'est activité ça qui va le faire avec résidents dans notre Miami. Ils vont demander ça au besoin, ça au voulu, ça au manqué. C'est dans le moment ça que nous allons là, côté nous manqué, que côté tout le monde établi là, nous allons checker point par point, minute par minute, tout ça qui est. Nous avons pile d'amis qui avec nous là. Et nous sommes capables de dire déjà avec Vanessa. Et ça veut dire qu'on va faire toute activité ensemble avec nous. Nous avons remarqué que côté que il y a un pile de monde qui dans l'activité qui vient là, c'est deux trois monde qui dans la communauté qui réellement besoin qu'on ait qui ça fait dans la communauté qui fait présence sur ensemble avec nous des résidents et qui viennent dans la communauté qui viennent garder mais qui ça peut le dire, qui ça peut le faire et avec pas mal de médias qui viennent garder l'activité là. Sur nous-mêmes, nous venons présents, et comme invitation est faite pour nous. Et puis, avec Civilisation, nous venons garder comme activité, ensemble avec les amis, camarades, nous, dans l'activité qui est faite pour la communauté, pour garder qui ça nous besoin, qui ça nous manque. Point par point, minute par minute, et puis avec Civilisation, ensemble avec nous.
Neighbors, and thank you so much for your engagement and for being a part of this. We had the idea to have a community forum because I think that there were a lot of questions, especially during the pandemic, because a lot of us kind of felt disconnected, right, from our communities. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a forum that we would be able to just have some honest conversations with each other. You would learn from the departments that are reflected here, learn from me as well, but then we can also learn from you, learn some of the things that you've been thinking about, things that may be on your mind. And so with that being said, we'll just have some housekeeping to do in terms of figuring out, number one, are we going, does everybody feel comfortable if we speak in English the entire time? Or would we like some translation if possible? So is English okay for everyone? Okay, so then I'm going to have my colleague Roberto assist us with some translation in Creole because I believe that that's a language need that we'll have. In addition to that, Summer Jones in the back will have with her some pens and some post-it notes in case you have any questions or thoughts that you need to write down so you don't forget. Just flag her and she'll be around here with the post-it notes and the pens. And also, they'll be taking notes on things that come up, things that are raised in this, so that we can make sure that we take it back to administration, take it back to the folks who are working on your behalf within the city.
Bonsoir tout le monde, et moi c'est Roberto Dorneval, moi je travaille dans l'office de City Club là. Bon, et je vais traduire mot à mot tout ça qui dit, même pour l'essentiel dans ça qui dit, parce que nous te promettons que nous avons gagné une traduction en créole, en espagnol, de forme ça. Donc tout le monde, bienvenue.
Thank you. So with that being said, I think what we'll do is start off by talking about what everyone here does. So I will actually take a seat and I will tell you a little bit about the Office of the City Clerk. The Office of the City Clerk, which I head, Summer Jones is our Assistant City Clerk. We have a Deputy City Clerk in the office as well. Roberto is a constituent aide. All of us work together to make sure that residents feel connected to their local government.
Nous allons parler là, nous allons dire qui ça plus ou moins chaque monde fait. Et c'est Vanessa Joseph, c'est City Clerk élu. Et puis nous avons Summer Jones qui c'est assistant City Clerk. Et puis moi-même, Roberto, son constituant aide. Bon, là vous faites point avec nous.
And amongst the services that we provide to make sure that you all feel connected to the government is receiving public comment. Right? And part of receiving public comment is really geared towards making sure that when there's an event, or I'm sorry, a council meeting, you all are able to participate and are able to have your voices heard and give some of your thoughts on how you believe this item should go or how the council should pass on it.
Or distracted. Keep going.
And then in addition to that, one of the things that we do that constituents are probably most aware of is that we process passports. We also help folks get registered to vote. We do lobbyist registrations and a host of other services really geared towards making sure that you feel included in your local government.
Il n'y a pas que, tout le monde pense que l'officier des clercs, on pense que c'est seulement le travail, les questions métiers. Mais l'officier des clercs, il fait passeport, il détourne, enregistrer, lobbyiste. Et nous besoin assurer nous comprendre quel que soit et comprendre que vous avez pour capable de lancer l'officier des clercs.
So today I would like you to feel comfortable after we've already introduced each department that's present here. I want you to feel extremely comfortable to share some of your thoughts and reflections on things that the city could be doing better, things that you believe may be necessary to start implementing or at least looking at, exploring, things that are maybe some changes that you would like to see reflected, and we'll go from there.
Je vais présenter tout le monde là, donc mettez-vous à l'aise pour partager ça qu'on a tout. Donc on va regarder à main que si tu as fait bien, donc à l'aise pour capable partager avec nous.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rasha Camo. I'm the Executive Director of the North Miami CRA, and I don't need any translation. Thank you very much. Bonsoir tout le monde, je suis Rasha Camo. Je suis directrice générale pour Community Redevelopment Agency Ville de North Miami. My responsibility is to help the community by providing grants and programs to help either through residential rehab programs, business development, and also large-scale development. Et responsabilité, c'est pour m'aider la communauté dans la ville de North Miami à travers un programme que nous créons, nous aider les GKI résidentiels, nous aider les business et nous réparer les business, nous bailler fonds pour venir avec un nouveau business dans la communauté et puis nous aider le nouveau développement pour faire un nouveau appartement avec un nouveau business dans la communauté.
Good evening, everyone. Some of you already know me. My name is Beverly Hilton. I'm not here in an official capacity. I was just here to listen to the workshop. But I work with the police department. I'm the Crime Watch Coordinator. If I haven't already done so, you'll see me knocking at your door for crime prevention. What we do is go out and educate the community about safety And actually this was, this started by our chief, the greatest chief in the world, I tell you, Larry Jariga, the best chief you've ever had. So he started the community policing, knocking on door program. So again, I'm here to answer any question regarding crime prevention. I do everything actually. Any question you have, if I don't have it, the answer, I will find the answer. Okay?
Bonsoir tout le monde, moi c'est préparé peut-être un grand peu nous qui connaît moi parce que m'habitué frapper dans porte nous et nous allons frapper dans porte nous et moi travaille avec la police et le département dans notre Miami et ça nous capable de poser n'importe question qui a rapport avec la prévention crime qui a fait dans la ville. Donc et c'est là que moi je travaille tout près avec le chef de police là, c'est Larry Juriga, c'est un bon chef de police régulier.
And I'm waiting on my good friend, a neighbor who started Crime Watch with me, Jocelyn Nelson, to teach me Creole, so I don't have to get translation. Jocelyn, we started the nonprofit in 2002, and she's been with us ever since. And I want to thank all my neighbors who came out this evening. Over here, we have Bernadette, Jocelyn, we have Miss Prince, who is new to our community. Thank you for coming out. Fatima over there, thank you for coming out. Where's Gerard? Gerard over here, and I do have some.
Yes, it is, baby. Yes, it is, baby.
Régine, comptez-moi pied pour faire Thanksgiving à Nessa.
Qui ça, Sony? Class It Is Baby.
Class It Is Baby. Pour la première fois, dans Palme, nous allons gagner gala fundraising pour une soirée pré-Thanksgiving. Samedi 20 novembre, sorti 9h du soir pour arriver 1h du matin.
Bonne nouvelle là, c'est 75$ seulement à payer. Ou à manger, ou à boire dans le tout. Et puis, ou à bien danser.
Invité spécial, Geneviève Vital de Arrosé Troubadour. DJ Jessie. Maîtresse de cérémonie, Régine Bastien. Coquin chaîne Yvette ça. Qui adresse que la pied.
Greater Palm Bay Senior Center. Gishita Call dans 1275 Culver Drive, Northeast Palm Bay, Florida, 32 907.
Sponsor, Grandois et Associates. Appliance Direct, Paradis du Goût et BPX TV Réseau.
Pour plus de détails et informations,
relais-nous dans 917 292 84 53 ou soit 561 318 39 06. Une soirée classe.
C'est une affaire de classe.
Class It Is Baby.
Bonjour tout le monde, quel que soit à côté ou à près de nous dans l'État Florida. Moi c'est Pierre Sibylien Vizet. Je suis un représentant de la compagnie qui relève nos chaînes génitoriales. Nos chaînes génitoriales côté pour vous un service clinique, commercial et résidentiel qui nettoie tels que banque, casino, hôtel, restaurant, maison, l'église, l'hôpital, clinique, car wash, pressure wash, bateau et latrier. Si vous avez besoin de nous, relevez-nous dans le bureau à Kounia, dans le numéro 786 868 33 51. Vous pouvez facilement nous dans le numéro qui c'est 786 254 70 55. Ou bientôt, si vous êtes en Saint-Thomas, déplacez-vous à DG dans l'adresse Monkishita, dans le numéro 935 Nord-10, 125e Suite, North Miami, Florida. Nous tiens, votre satisfaction est toujours notre priorité. Wow!
Dimanche 28 novembre, week-end Thanksgiving, FIU tête droite. Diaspora Festival lié Toto. Diaspora Entertainment a présenté dans FIU North Stadium 2655 North East 151e Street, 16e édition Diaspora Festival. Année ça, mariage boulak, musique là, prenons l'autre niveau. Pendant toute journée, boule à bouler, musique à frapper. Équipe célébrité va faire face carré avec vétérans de Miami, solution contre Phantom Barbershop, désir contre TL Barbershop, Haïti avec Jamaïque pour rouler ballon. Et puis, ambiance musicale, boucan diffé à classe. Tony Mix, Click, T-Vac, DJ Nicky Mix, Billy Mix, Pascal, Dieguito et DJ Wagaboulou NYC pour faire Titi fait volant, maître cérémonie, coach roller. Admission $20. Patronné par coach roller école de sport, Dr. Sano Chiropractor, Allen TV, Radio Mega, Pay Here, NG Production, Infoline, 786 290 61 66, 954 263 46 90, 786 619 58 80.
BPX TV Réseau, ça fait PAM. Belle là, c'est où plus belle. Je dois aussi avoir.
People coming out, so thank you. Thank you, Gio. I didn't know you were going to come.
Chaque fois là, il y a une salutation par eux. Justine Delso, Tadeo, Dégageau, après Madame le Créole pour nous.
Good evening. As Madam City Clerk said, I'm the other Vanessa. Vanessa Willis with the Code Compliance Department. And there is a table in the back where we have different flyers, sanitizers, pens, things that you can take back home with you to read over. What our department is responsible for is patrolling the city in order to try to ensure that we have a beautiful city to live in. So oftentimes you'll see us knocking at your door, asking you to cut your grass, to put a little paint, to maybe put your house numbers there. What it actually does is not to harass you all, but to actually increase your property values and give you a better place that you can be proud to live in. So any questions that you would have for me, feel free to ask those questions. Again, Vanessa Willis from the Code Compliance Department.
C'est Vanessa Willis, je travaille avec le département Code Compliance. Et on est capable toujours voir que le Code Compliance a fait patrouille dans la ville là. Et c'est pour nous capables assurer que tout le bagage a passé bien, a marché bien dans la ville. On est capable de venir voir que nous avons demandé ou pour couper Z devant la carrière, nous avons demandé pour mettre des numéros. Donc ce n'est pas regarder la première nous avons besoin d'assurer que nous avons une belle ville. Donc il y a quelques phares derrière. Et sur quelques bagages, vous avez de ça que nous faisons. Donc, voilà, pour capable poser n'importe quelle question.
Awesome. So periodically we'll take little breaks just to be able to hear from you so that it's not just us talking to you. And so I'll start now by asking whether there are some questions that anyone may have. And oh, salutations spéciales to Miss Gypsy Metellus. Thank you so much for coming. Because there are some resources that Santla is able to provide, and I would love for you to speak on those. So, Roberto, if you don't mind bringing the mic over to her so that we can talk about those services.
Exactement. De temps en temps, nous voyons quelques pauses et pour que nous soyons capables d'échanger. Et puis, mets-toi à l'aise, nous allons passer avec quelques questions que nous avons adressées.
Merci, Roberto. Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure and an honor to show up for North Miami, show up for each and every one of us who live, work, and play in this community. I serve as the executive director of SANCLA, Haitian Neighborhood Center, and our center offers a number of free services ranging from tax preparation to employment to assistance with health insurance enrollment. This is open enrollment for Obamacare and for Medicare for those of you who are already eligible. So you can come to us for those kinds of supports, plus safety net benefits, mental health counseling, citizenship. These days we're heavily involved, along with the city of North Miami, and TPS support for those members of our community who need that assistance. So if you know of someone who needs this, please urge them to check out or come to us for additional information such that we might help them. So we'll be here, Ginia and I. We'll be here, we'll set up in the corner somewhere, provide you with information should you need it. But just know that North Miami is our home, as well as the place where we work. And so we're your neighbors, and we're here for you with anything you might need. Thank you very much for the opportunity to say hello and just say a few words about soccer. Après tout. Pas de problème. Merci Roberto. Et encore une fois, Gypsy Metellus, moi c'est directrice SANCLA, Haitian Neighborhood Center, une organisation à but non lucratif qui est localisée dans la ville de Miami. Donc ça veut dire que c'est là que nous sommes, c'est voisin nous que nous sommes. Nous travaillons avec la communauté de Miami et nous là pour offrir tout un série de services que la communauté a besoin, qui sortit de préparation de taxes jusqu'à aider nous à travail, chercher le travail, et nous faire l'application pour ceux qui ont besoin de citizenship, nous avons cherché assurance, soit Medicaid, KidCare ou bien Medicare. Ça joue aussi comme une période d'inscription ouverte au programme assurance qui est Medicare et Obamacare. Donc nous l'avons tout pour servir nous. Et puis nous l'avons tout comme source, comme ressources et sources d'information pour tout ça qui concerne. Que c'est qui vous venir à l'école, que sont informations que vous avez pour qui vous faites, ou bien
monde qui vraiment, je dis, a besoin de faire application TPS, ou bien monde qui a besoin de notre service légal, et passer côté nous, et nous là, nous avons une équipe solide qui va service santé mentale, qui est des gens avec petit monde, enfin, nous dégageons pour assurer nous que nous baillons communauté, toute assistance et tout support, tout accompagnement que tu as besoin. Donc, nous sommes West Dixie, bon, à côté, bon, qui t'aime dire en face de l'auberge, merci.
Thank you to those of you who just joined us. Please feel free to sit up front because there's gifts. There's gifts in the front. So definitely thank you all so much. For those who just joined us, once again, my name is Vanessa Joseph, the elected city clerk for the city of North Miami. So at this time, I wanted to open it up to the floor, ask if anybody has any questions so far or any issues that they wanted to bring up now before we go into a little bit more detail with the department.
Encore c'est Vanessa Joseph, c'est le clerc élu. Avant même que nous entrions dans le détail, donc si on a une question à nous poser avant même que nous commençons. Donc apparemment, monsieur a une question. Tu as une question?
Bonsoir tout le monde. Non, moi c'est Jean-Pierre Sauvet. Moi j'ai 33 ans de travail pour m'habiter. Madame Justine, depuis la question, ça elle parle de lui-même pour moi qui fait une vidéo. Nous entendons ça dans le site de notre ami. Nous avons fait une vidéo, il n'y a pas de travail. Et puis nous avons un site de Miami aider les gens pour être capable de venir papier travail. Les gens qui viennent citoyens, c'est le site qui a même bénéficié du travail. Et après, il y a une résidence, puis il y a une citoyen. Et puis c'est ce qui a même bénéficié de poser candidat, il y a une opportunité pour voter pour eux. Ils ont senti qu'ils ont aidé les gens parce qu'ils ont fait une vie, ils ont pas de travail, ils ont pas de papier. Et puis nous avons ce qui a pensé avec la question ça pour aider les gens qui font une vie.
So essentially what was said is that merci pour réflexion ça was that with the influx of arrivals, recent arrivals from specifically the border is the community that he's talking about. So folks who are recent arrivals to the United States and those of them who are specifically living in the city of North Miami, he believes that the city of North Miami should do something to assist them, maybe help them in some capacity, connecting them to the resources that they need to eventually then one day become U.S. citizens, which will be a benefit to the entire city of North Miami. Merci à people if does anybody else have any questions?
Non, il y a une question. OK.
Bonsoir. Good evening. Moi, j'étais dans la city North Miami depuis 1989. Moi, content du service de Kondai qui est city de côté où il est amené. Côté où il est là, côté qui est up to date. Garbage, Kenyo, il y a des gens qui ont depuis lundi jusqu'à l'autre semaine. Alia, il y a des gens qui sont sortis à connaître. Fadra, monter mes hauteurs. Fil courant, monter mes hauteurs. Et si tu as mis des pressions sur moi, que madame est supposée dire ça, pour m'obliger à prêter l'argent, pour me faire, je vais avouer la caille. Parce qu'il y a 3 machines, il y a un petit côté, nous avons pris le paquet sous ces blancs. Si tu as mis des pressions sur moi, c'est violer les lois, tandis que c'est moins payé là. Si il fait gazon, c'est moins payé taxe tout pareil. Tandis que c'est sous la rue à Midi. Quand il est sous côté de nous, actuellement, par contre, si c'est un hôtel, qui ça nous fait la donne? Cocaïne envahit la caille. Il y a fumé entré exactement, parce que fenêtre chambre exactement dans le pot qui va dans la fenêtre cuisine, il y a fumé. M'obliger à prêter l'argent pour me barrer la fenêtre là. C'est là qui t'a aidé pour joindre et permis de facile pour me lever parce que l'homme couché sur le carbone, tout le monde a dominé tout ça qui a passé dans la chambre. m'a demandé est-ce que même city, même service a été qu'on bail longtemps, pour qui ça pas de service encore. Parce que le monde pas fait, et Katia pas fait monde, c'est le monde qui fait Katia. Et c'est sous la rue où on dit. Merci.
Excusez-moi. Là, on parle de service, on parle de service pour ranger Kailan ou bien?
Non, on va parler de
Just code.
On va parler de service que je te compte porter plus attention.
Okay. So this is a code enforcement issue. I know that you understand some Creole. Yeah. Donc juste pour nous connaître, il n'est pas haïtien, mais après tout ça que il fait le travail de citoyen, il peut quelques mots. So essentially, you know, she has a code compliance issue where she feels that she's maintaining her home, but you know, it's not something that apparently everybody's doing, and also that initially one of the things she mentioned was that folks are leaving their garbage cans out during the entire week. The garbage isn't being picked up, I guess, on time either, and that there's like overgrown weeds, and she had to actually take out money to redo her own driveway to take care of it.
Thank you for giving us your concerns. What I would like for you to do to help us be on the right, that we end up on the right street, if you can give us like your street and the avenues where this is occurring, what I can do is I can let the zone officer know that these things are occurring.
Okay,
actuellement, quand il est sur côté là, il y a des 6-7 machines passées par le gazon.
Ok, mettez adresse où, mettez nous avec adresse où.
Yeah, I'm trying to address them each one at a time.
Right,
There's
right.
many.
Yeah.
So with regards to the garbage, if she lets us know, because you know each officer has a designated day that their garbage should be put to curbside. If it's bulk pickup, there are certain days that they're supposed to, like Monday over here is the bulk pickup day. If it's their regular garbage, we have the flyers in the back to let them know, hey, today is your garbage day, you pull your cans out, and at the end of the day, those cans should be brought back onto the property. If that is not happening in that area, if she gives us that information, we can make sure that the officer goes by there to patrol that area more consistently. Unfortunately, the zones are quite large, so we may miss a couple of streets, but usually each day they're going up and down each street to try to curtail that issue. The other issue was regarding the grass.
I used to park my car on my property.
Yes, ma'am.
They cited me. Now I saw people with 6 cars parking there.
Okay.
But the grass also.
Okay, so let me explain that, and that happens to me. I am a code officer, so I am out patrolling as well. My area is on the northeast side. So what normally happens is, and maybe somebody in here can attest to it as well, oftentimes we've already cited people and they've elected not to comply. So at that point, what normally happens is we'll send them to court. You will receive a notice to say that you are expected to show up in court before the judge. The judge will usually tell you, hey, you have 30 days in order to figure out what you're going to do on your property. Are you going to install a driveway, or are you going to start putting your cars out on the outer area, the swell area of your home? It's up to the homeowner. Those people that you see in some instances, they have been cited, they've been to court, and they have decided that they're not going to comply, and that they don't care whether or not they're running fines at sometimes $250 per day. So those fines continue to accumulate until they have come into compliance. And oftentimes it is a cat and mouse game where we'll come and they'll say, oh no, I'm in compliance, I'm not parking on the grass anymore. And then 3 days later you see the same car. So it is a back and forth process. And in the future what you will see, because the ordinance states that if you are a repeat violator, those fines and liens that those people are getting is going to increase. So bear with us for a moment. I know it's uncomfortable to see it, and it is disheartening when you've done your part and your neighbor is not. But again, if you give us the certain locations, and you can just drive by and say, okay, you know what, between 8th Avenue and 10th Avenue on
Bel Talk Show Magazine.
BPX TV Réseau et BPX Production produit et distribué un paquet de shows à l'autre télévision Haïti ou à l'étranger, tels que Storm TV, chaîne 2, Canal Bleu, chaîne 38 USA, Haïti TV, chaîne 8.5 digital, Miami, Tropical TV, chaîne 18.6 digital, Miami, Télé Anacarona, chaîne 38.2 Orlando et Miami, chaîne 18.7 digital, PVS, West Palm Beach, BPX TV Réseau, all over the world, Haïti en direct et toutes plateformes réseaux sociaux. Ou t'as aimé faire une promotion, une distribution commerciale, un marketing général, pas hésiter une seconde. Haïti 609 area code 3401 2424 USA 786 642 3535. Yo gen WhatsApp tout, BPX TV Réseau, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
127th Street, this is a constant problem. And oftentimes you'll find that we've already cited those people, so we can give you that information as well. And I think that would make you feel a little bit better and feel comfortable that we are doing, you know, our jobs.
Ok, n'a fait question au bicoute, n'a pas exactement ça que nous besoin dire. Alors pour avoir une idée de ça parler là, il y a un seul monde, madame te pose des questions concernant mon équipe parking et devant la cahier sur le parking, dans l'espace parking. Donc, Vanessa dit nous, si il fait mon payer amende qui allait jusqu'à $200. Je peux demander pour nous aller dans le code même pour gagner 30 jours pour arriver dans le code. Bon, nous continuons à faire. Mais ou même, alors on va essayer de couper pour nous, mais ou même, on est capable toujours faire code compliance. Faire si on est ça. Le qui va comme ça qui passe, ou qui passe sous zeb devant la caillou, on va toujours faire si on est même si on pas adresse exactement. Donc on va plus ou moins dire mais qui compte lié et puis nous-mêmes nous sommes capables de faire un travail déjà que le faire. Okay? Donc, on a quelques questions et puis nous allons aller direct pour que nous soyons capables de plus de monde avant même que nous entrions dans ça.
So what was just said is that we're going to condense the questions to be very spot on to the issue that you want to address.
And ma'am, before you speak, let me just say this also. In the back for you guys, there are these little refrigerator magnets, and this is information that can tell you exactly where to send your emails. If you have a complaint, you can send them to our office, codecomplaints@northmiamifl.gov. There's also the MyNomi app where you can go online if you want to, you feel comfortable. Don't put yourself in a compromising position. But if you feel comfortable snapping a picture of a neighbor's yard and sending that, you can do that as well. So there's so many different ways that you can let us know. You don't always have to pick up the phone. You can send an email and let us know exactly where these things are taking place. And we will address it.
So how many times these owners going to be cited? Is it 4 times, 20 times, 40 times? Or do you have something that you could take a tow truck for them to take it to the tollway zone and then, you know, for them to pay the money? Because you could decide me for $4,000, $10,000. And then if I'm continuing doing something, that's when the city is not really serious about what's going on. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we need a solution.
So let me speak to two different things. If the vehicles are on the right-of-way, which is the swell area, that area on the opposite side, your property is here, the sidewalk is here, and this area is the swell area, right? If the cars are there, what you normally see, and you probably see them when you're driving the neighborhood, you'll see a placard. There's a bright red sticker that we place on the car, and we tell them, listen, you have 48 hours in order to remove that vehicle. If the vehicle is not removed, and most times we also give them a parking ticket. If there's, if the tag is not valid, or maybe there's no tag at all, if those vehicles are on the right-of-way, we placard those vehicles. 48 hours, those cars need to be removed. If they're not removed, we call the police, we have them assist us and remove those cars from the right-of-way. On private property, it's a little more intricate because we face liability issues if we were to come and just drag your car off of your property. So what is happening, and unfortunately we're in kind of a limbo area because we're getting new software, so tickets are not being issued as they once were. But we're gonna get to that. Probably within the next, I'm thinking 30 or 60 days, at least by the new year. What you will experience, and all of this is in the ordinance, in the city's ordinance, where, say I came to your house and I talked to you about parking on the front lawn, and you said, okay ma'am, not a problem, I'm gonna move the vehicle. 1 month later, we're back again talking to you about the same thing. Now we're going to take him to court. Once we take him to court, not you per se, of course, you would never do anything like that. But, you know, we would take the homeowner to court and we would say, listen, we understand that you came into compliance, because by then they moved the cars. This is a game, we do it every month, you know. So by then you move your car, you say, no, Your Honor, I'm in compliance, here's my photo, I'm not parking my car on the front lawn. Okay, no problem. But we are going to adjudicate you as guilty. So any further occurrences of this same thing, now you're a repeat violator. So now we're not citing you for $250, we're citing you at $500. And it goes on and on. So each time that they get a repeat violator, and at some point, you know, the fines and liens are already accumulating on that property. When you get ready to go and you do a refinance, or you're trying to maybe take out the equity on your home, that's when it's gonna make the difference. You know, unfortunately, we can't go onto a person's property right now and just remove the vehicle, but we are working on some new ideas in order to try to curtail that. You know, unfortunately, you know, we don't live in a world where, you know, I can come and knock on your door and say, hey, you know what, if you need some help, can I help you out? You know, I understand you got like 6 cars on your property. We're not in that world at this moment, but we are trying to work in order to, you know, make North Miami look a lot better than it does right now.
C'était un peu l'information et c'est sûr que nous prenons pile là-dedans, mais l'essentiel pour nous connaître que Code Compliance la travaille sur le problème que madame a décidé, qui c'est monde qui a parqué sur un zébio. Donc ça va priver que si tu as mené mon nom côté, ok, et on fait, il refait encore, mais il faut connaître que le département Compliance continue à travailler pour que ça lui-même est capable de résoudre. C'est dans 30 à 60 jours, vous pouvez peut-être voir que le département compliance lui-même fait plus dans ça. Bon, l'important pour vous-même en tant que résident, c'est que vous ça pour toujours rapporter au City. Donc plus ou moins dire maintenant qu'il adresse ça fait et puis et City lui-même l'a capable et par les correspondants l'a capable et adresser les problèmes ça. Donc two or three more. Yeah, we have 3.
Miss Judy Brown had her hand up as well. It'd be down south.
Good evening. My question is concerning economic development and CRA money and how it's been spent. I've lived in this community almost 50 years, and nothing never changes as far as development. Recently, CRA has spent large amounts of money on the Red Garden on 7th Avenue. This is a disgrace to our community. There's nothing there. They spent money, nothing happened. I don't know anything of any project where CRA money has been spent where the community has benefited from it. We still need restrooms at Pepper Park. Kids, when you have large function, urinating and, you know, cars open there urinating. After an event, you walk around the park and you can actually smell the urine. It is sad to say the 7th Avenue hasn't changed. All of our money goes to Biscayne. That's where we have the shop. There's nothing in our community, nothing is being bought. I go to city meetings and I speak out. It's always 5 to 4. We never get anything done. So CRA money, how can we get some CRA money spent in District 4 where we can actually see in the residents of our district can see what's going on with that, because it's supposed to be community development. Would you please tell me what has been developed in District 4 from our CRA money that we can benefit from?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Brown. Well, for District 4, first of all, the CRA covers about 60% of the city's geography. So we're west of Biscayne Boulevard. We cover from Biscayne Boulevard to the city limits. For District 4, most recently, the Sasso Pool facade, that was a CRA project that was done. Through the city's housing division, we funded the single-family rehab programs where we funded renovations for 78 homes, primarily in District 4.
How many homes?
78.
78.
In terms of the Red Garden, this was a decision that was made by the CRA board, which is really the mayor and council. It was an economic development plan that they had to revitalize that lot. As you recall, it was a code enforcement nightmare, and it was abandoned for a while. And that was the idea that they had. Unfortunately, I mean, the CRA also, you said we spent a lot of money. Just to be clear, we spent $362,000 to renovate the site and prep it and prepare it for, it was supposed to be a food truck incubator. Unfortunately, COVID happened, because right after the Super Bowl event, COVID happened, and you know, it stopped. The property is leased by the city of North Miami, so unfortunately, we do not have a say or control or how it is run or operated. I know they're working with an operator to do something, but it is out of the CRA's hands. In terms of the commercial corridor, a few things that we did. During COVID, we spent a lot of money to keep businesses along the major corridors open during COVID-19. We paid rent, utilities, payroll for a lot of those businesses that were not able to work, operate properly during COVID-19. So we did spend quite a bit of funds on that. In addition to that, we do provide funds for rehab and business attractions along the major corridors. I can list a few of the businesses that benefited from it, and we also have an application wait list right now for those businesses. I think one of the things that people, when they talk about Northwest 7th Avenue, is they want to see some kind of large-scale development happen so it could trigger more development and interest. And I think that's where we are right now, and that's where we're in discussion. At the last CRA board meeting, the board approved and is allowing the CRA to focus on specific acquisition of properties along the corridor so we can start redeveloping projects. They hadn't done that before. This is the first time that they were allowing us to actually go into the corridor on Northwest 7th Avenue and to acquire property and to prepare for redevelopment. But however, I'd like to say that, I know you're asking about District 4, but the work that we do is along all the corridors, District 2, 3, 4, and District 1 as well.
But I think one of the things that I'm hearing is maybe, is there an opportunity, Rasha, for when it comes to economic development, for there to be ways to facilitate maybe more community input and developing creative ways to solicit this information so that it can be part of the considerations that the CRA board is making and the CRA advisory committee is making vis-a-vis economic development in District 4 or any other district?
Definitely. I know Ms. Brown mentioned the city council. We do not, you know, the CRA, we're a separate government entity, so we operate in a different schedule, a different schedule. Our advisory committee meets every first Monday of the month at 6:30, and we also need advisory members to be appointed. So I would encourage you, if you have the ability to participate, to be on those committees, because that's where you provide your input, you help us guide, and that information is given to the CRA board, again, which is the mayor and council. The CRA board meeting is every second Tuesday at 5:30. The only people that usually show up to these meetings are applicants for a grant. But I wish I had residents and other community people coming in to provide comments and information. And we demand.
So I think you make a great point, and I think that maybe this is somewhere that I can be helpful, right? Making it easier for folks to know when these meetings are happening. And so I am definitely going to work on that in terms of making sure that it's broadly advertised, right, when these meetings are happening. And also wanting to make sure that, you know, if folks aren't on the city's mailing list, right, the email list, that's a really important tool because that's where a lot of this information is shared, and it's also on the website. And so maybe we can talk about whether you're not, for some reason, not receiving these emails, or if they're going to the spam box or something.
Or how to use the website, how to find it. It's also
the website, yeah, is a beast of its own, and that's again like a very helpful comment in terms of what needs to be fixed. Yes, Madame.
Bonsoir. Moi, j'habite dans 125. Des années. Depuis, il y a mon candidat, premier problème est venu, c'est Bill Blow. Bill Blow va jamais descendre, Bill Blow, l'aime de faire habiter, pour m'habiter, je me dis Bill Blow, pour nous, c'est dans comme dans son mortgage, je m'appelle, pour Bill Blow. Et puis, je me dis Bill Blow, va monter toujours.
Bel Talk Show Magazine.
Qui ça me dit? Batalo? Batalo? Dans n'importe circonstance, violence sur femme, c'est un acte nous tous doit condamner. C'est un mauvais acte, une fois nous pas doit tolérer. Ça compte river une première fois.
Il dit excusez, ça n'a pas privé encore. C'était un moment de jalousie.
Une deuxième fois.
Il dit il était sonné un moment. Il n'a plus de contrôle de tête.
Une troisième fois.
Il m'a demandé pardon. Il portait fleur pour moi. Il fait une promesse que ça n'a pas recommencer encore. Il finit par convaincre moi.
Et une quatrième fois. Mais fois ça, c'était en dernière fois. Si aux victimes de violence, Pinga aurait été dans silence. Sinon, les 4 temps. On suspend de tolérer mauvais actes de violence qu'a fait sous famille.
Dans la vie, grand monde parle, faut entendre. Les oreilles pas obligées de plus longues, pas ses têtes. Mais, go pouvez qui dit, plutôt miser dans route pour une très bonne nouvelle. Pendant mes 42 ans de carrière dans la radio et télédiffusion, moi-même, Jean-Sony Zulerdio, ça n'a pas jamais intéressé pour me dire une station. Un média, c'est pas un bagage qui facile. Eh bien, pendant l'époque coronavirus là, ça vient plus intéresser pour me faire une station, me faire le pour nous. Petite là accouché, BPX TV Réseau. BPX TV Réseau émet par Haïti en direct à travers le monde entier. Il émet dans tout téléphone par une app que je présente pour nous. Et puis, l'accompagné par plusieurs stations de télévision, quitte en Haïti, quitte en Europe, quitte en Amérique, pour diffuser toute sa Sony Bel format fait. Profitez-en. BPX, app, TV Réseau, il est important pour apprendre. Gardez-le. Download-le dans le téléphone, et puis quelque chose à côté, je vais toujours avoir. On va informer plus. BPX, TV Réseau, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Moi-même, je fais 3 jobs pour me take care de l'île. Quand je travaille encore. Et là, je commence à travailler à $2.50 de travail. Ça veut dire que je vais retirement. J'ai 2 gros problèmes. J'ai un bill d'eau. Et puis j'ai un gazon que je mette, il n'y a pas de gazon. C'est donc pour son paquet vieux weed, m'a plaidé payer, couper pour moi parce que je ne peux pas faire. Longtemps, je faire, quand je ne peux pas faire. Dès qu'on coupe le gazon, on est dans la cour, $20. Quand on a payé $60, malgré mon appelé, parce que j'ai 2 sailles. M'habite en 125 et puis j'ai un bol en 126. Je ne sais pas qui ça me fait un gazon sans eau. Il n'y a pas de gazon. Si c'était un bel gazon, je dit au moins, il t'a fait carrément belle. Mais bon gazon, je complains, montrer au monde qui t'a pris responsabilité de montrer, rien n'a jamais fait. Et puis, je prends pied bois, 2 pieds bois. Je aime parce que les cyclones sont protégés carrément. Mais branche rentrée dans la cour. Moi, je jusqu'à ce temps, je chaque match est cassé tellement. Et puis, quand il y a des problèmes, je ne peux pas régler encore. Je demande pour couper branche au moins qui rentre dans la cour. Je bouquet complet. Je n'ai jamais aucune solution. Je ne sais pas qui ça peut faire.
So she brought up essentially issues with the water bill and why it's consistently going up. Unfortunately, there's not a representative from the finance department and utility billing who would be able to address that concern. And so unfortunately, we can't address that at this moment, but it's definitely something that I'm going to bring back. But in addition to that, she brought up, and I think this is maybe a code issue, or maybe you'll have some ideas on things that could be done, because you know she's a woman of a certain age, weeds are growing, she can't pull the weeds out herself, she has to pay for that, and then on top of that, you know, there's a tree by her home and the branches are coming in, so you know, wanting to, I think there's a desire to have some assistance with at least cutting the portion that comes into her home or over her home. So I'm not sure if that's something that you all have programs for, if there's a desire, because I've also heard this from other people in terms of, you know, being older and maybe not working and unable to really care for certain, because it's in the right of way or because it's around their property, they have to take care of it. So whether there are programs maybe for this population of folks who may not be able to take care of it on their own.
Currently, we don't have anything in place in order to assist the residents. However, we are talking about getting a task force together when things are needed and we look at a person's situation to see if there's a way that we can get together to better assist them. So that would mean your code officers would come to your house and help out with some of the things there at the home. And of course, if we can get other entities to come in and help us out, that would be something that we would be looking into doing. The only thing that is kind of in limbo at this moment is the legality. Again, we're coming onto your property, and if anything goes awry, something goes wrong, you know, God forbid, but something goes wrong, we would have to be able to remove ourselves as well as the city from any liabilities. So those things are still in the works, but we have talked about certain issues where we have people, like you say, of a certain age, or maybe where they're not physically capable to do these things on their own, to where we can come in and dedicate maybe a weekend or a couple of weekends in order to bring that home up to par. So it is something that we have discussed departmentally that we're looking into doing. Also because I know I was over there for a little bit, housing and social services may be able to assist with your roof. I'm not sure if she's saying that the trees are growing into the roof area.
No, they're just over the.
Okay, it's just overgrowth. Okay, yeah. So
Bel Talk Show Magazine. Bel Talk Show Magazine. une équipe solide pour un magazine solide de 10h à midi, du lundi au samedi. Reprise de 1h à 3h du matin sur Télé Indépendance, chaîne 18.10 Digital Miami, BPX TV Réseau et Haïti en direct à travers le monde entier. Tout cela pour vous apporter le bonheur auditif chez vous. Avec des rubriques différentes, les femmes d'abord, causément des chaises, qui ça la jeunesse besoin, cuisine ses richesses, HPP mini-série, Bel Talk Show Magazine avec Sonny Belenforme, Aubry Blague, Régine Bastien et Gauthier Bernard. Bel Talk Show Magazine, pour toutes vos publicités, promotions et invitations, veuillez nous contacter au 786 642 35 35. Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
What we would probably do in that instance, if we can get clearance legally, is maybe try to see if there's some way Parks can come in and help us out and get those things cut. But again, all of that has to go through our legal department to find out how we can remove ourselves from the liability. But we as code officers are, our heart goes out to some people, where you're sitting there, you don't want to keep beating the people, you want to be able to help them as well. So bear with us just a little longer, and please make sure that you give someone your address before you leave so that we can take a look and see if there's a way that we can help out. Yes, ma'am.
So we're not going to
right there.
no sorti papier.
He'll give it to me. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pratiquement, madame a déposé une question concernant le problème lié à la qualité aux zèbres qui a grandi, il parlait de problème de l'eau et problème de solution. Pas de solution. On est là, mais madame Vanessa dit que c'est des programmes est-ce que des programmes qui il a pour monde qui dans l'âge, ok? Malheureusement pas des programmes qu'on y a là pour monde qui dans l'âge, qui pas faire travail ça pour couper les herbes, etc. Mais le bon groupe monde qui travaille sur ça peut-être dans le week-end est capable d'aider nous, mais c'est pas un bagage qui est là déjà. Donc et on va aller au téléphone et puis on voit comment au téléphone adresse pour comment on est capable d'adresser cette situation ça.
And Rasha brought up a great point. I think that the city has the Keep North Miami Beautiful program, and so maybe there's a way to reactivate that and maybe take it beyond just doing like painting projects, but also like helping people with their property maintenance, right? And so I would like to at this time welcome Councilman Alex Desilme, Councilman for District 4, just to say a few words.
Just a few words.
It's 7:02.
I know. Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry that I am late because, as you all know, I usually not late. I'm usually on time, Leo. Like Jill. I want to say thank you so much, first and foremost, to Madam Clerk for not only for taking the initiative and doing this, but for working very, closely with my office to get this underway. And we worked extremely hard. Well, she worked extremely hard, and I kind of helped her to make sure that we do what we do to make sure this comes out. And I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up. Well, is this okay? I want to. Is this okay? Yeah. All right. Okay. I want to say thank you for everyone who's able to make it tonight. I was at a historical event, and I apologize that I am late, and I wish I could have started at 7. But again, I am here, and as always, and I see a lot of familiar faces. I see family, friends and family here. This might be better. Thank you. So I don't know what I missed. If you have any questions, as you know, my door is always open for you all. I am more than happy to answer any questions. Rasha, we tell them all the money that the CRA has.
Oh, we talked about it. All right. So I see Gio's hand up.
Yes, that's right.
Roberto, do you have a mic? Gio.
Hello, Gio.
I gotta try that.
So I'm Gio Darter. I actually live in District 2. District 3, and I have a foundation an arts foundation that I'm working close to Griffin Park. But when we came from Cuba, My first home my parents bought was 2 blocks down the street here on 124th and 12th. So I am also a 52-year resident of this district. So I usually come by here as a nostalgic trip to see the home that my parents, actually my dad built. So still very connected. And I will say this, that I've been going in the last 2.5 years, going to almost every meeting possible to really get engaged with my community, because I decided to build my foundation here and be part of North Miami again. But the only way you can do that is by being present and listening and sharing. And so that's what I've been doing. But I want to say at this moment, because I've been doing that, I realize that North Miami has an incredible outreach program, especially with its Haitian community and other immigrant communities here as well. And I'm impressed by that, because again, a lot of resources are given that I don't see in other cities. And I see them really trying to educate the community and also help, as we're doing here with the passport and every other service to make us a citizen of this country in one way or another. I also want to say that District 4, I've seen what's going on, because I also partake in all the meetings online, especially it's been easy with COVID to do the Zoom, so you can actually do 4 meetings in one place and not worry about going from meeting to meeting. And I have been personally very involved with the CRA, what's going on with them, because I too am hoping to get some kind of support from them. But I also see what the work they've done. And one of the work that I've seen that they did that I was most impressed with was a 7th Avenue Corridor Innovative Project with FIU, which painted a picture of the future of this area. And I personally can tell you that North Miami is a large district, but let me tell you, this is the last frontier that you're living in. Your community, I know that your property values are going up. They're going to go up so high at this point, because it's coming from the downtown development this way. And believe it or not, you're sitting on properties that are very large with a lot of land in your property. And the homes are built in the 50s, and they're very good structured homes. This is your last frontier. So it takes a little time, but it is happening. And I'll tell you, because I'm excited, and I've seen the changes on 7th Avenue. I have seen the mediums, how they become, and I think one of the most attractive mediums in Miami at this point with the natural vegetation. So they did an incredible job. So that's there to stay. That's going to welcome other businesses to come in. So with that said, the only thing that I say about this district that I would like to see, because District 4 has the most incredible island parks. It's got the most island parks in a neighborhood that I know, because I used to ride from one park to the other on my bicycle. So I know what's going on. If I could see more lighting in these parks, that would make such a difference in the city, or actually District 4. And that could be a beginning right there, because it brings security, safety, and it illuminates the rest of the beautiful houses that are surrounding each park. So that's what I want to say.
Thank you so much, Gio. Roberto, can you bring the mic? Oh.
Good evening. I wasn't going to say anything, but since this lady here brought it up, I figure I can say my piece as well. And if nobody's here to do anything or say anything, I know Miss Joseph, and I'm happy Mr. Sumi come in so he know he can take it back. Now, I'm trying to find out about the utility bill.
Yes.
I believe I'm paying somebody else's utility bill because only me in my home. My daughter just got back. My husband has been in rehab over 2 years. So it's only me. Why do I have a utility bill that's due on the 17th for $317? Can anybody tell me that?
Yes, I can tell you.
It's only me. My husband is in rehab. My daughter just got back.
I know the situation.
Uh-huh.
And it's about to go up.
So I heard.
But I'm not blaming you because I know the situation. And I think Gio mentioned something that and everybody here, I see all of my residents here, and you guys know I am an advocate for this district. And despite, you know, we may disagree on process and what, you know, the district, where it was 10 years ago, where it is now. We got a long way to go, but there's a lot that we have to do. As a matter of fact, I have folks who, I won't say blame me, but they usually say, oh, you do a lot of social service for the people, which is good, but a couple weeks ago, we had a very important vote on the city council, and I was a little disappointed of the residents, because a lot of time I get emails, long emails from folks, from the homeowners, complaining of a lot of stuff that happens, and it's okay, and we answer these emails, and I know it's COVID, and I don't want to be down there at City Hall, but we there. And as bad as it gets,
Bel Talk Show Magazine.
C'est vrai, la santé c'est richesse. Mais si tu as gardé richesse, la panique finit dans mon oui. FIFI, NNI, Kaba. C'est ça que fait santé PAM avec toute famille me remettre ça dans mes docteur Rose Messeid. Calcul la bien simple. Docteur Rose Messeid spécialisé dans médecine famille dans Jackson Memorial Hospital. Certifié par Board Family Physician, ratifié par paquet de patients que le desservi pendant 20 ans dans notre Miami. Donc qualifié pour le prendre soin avec famille, j'en mérite là. Docteur Rose Messeid occupé de monde 18 ans et plus. Santé femme physical pour immigration ak moun qui besoin faire licence CDL, physical pour travail, gen toujours mais ça me pire meilleur. Pas que monter descendre aller pour te tourner vini, gen laboratoire tout équipé pour faire tout test sang là même. Moi, prends plume, crayon, comment c'est dit papier, écrit adresse Prima Health Center, 125 North East, 167e suite, North Miami Beach. Téléphone 305 217 74 62. 305 217 74 62. Prima Health Center. This is it!
Class it is, baby. Yes, it is, baby.
Régine, comptez-moi bien pour faire Thanksgiving à Nessa.
Qui ça, Sony? Class it is, baby.
Class it is, baby. Pour la première fois, dans Palme Bay, nous avons gagné gala fundraising pour une soirée pré-Thanksgiving. Samedi 20 novembre, sorti 9h du soir pour arriver 1h du matin.
Bonne nouvelle là, c'est $75 seulement à payer. Ou à manger, ou à boire dans le tout. Et puis, ou à bien danser.
Invité spécial, Geneviève Vital de Arrosé Troubadour. DJ Jessie. Maîtresse de cérémonie, Régine Bastien. Coquin chaîne Yvette ça. Qui adresse que la pied.
Greater Palm Bay Senior Center. Gishita Call dans 1275 Culver Drive, Northeast Palm Bay, Florida, 32 907. Sponsor, Grandois et Associates. Appliance Direct, Paradis du Goût et BPX TV Réseau.
Pour plus de détails et informations,
relais-nous dans 917 292 84 53 ou soit 561 318 39 06. Une soirée classe.
C'est une affaire de classe.
Class it is, baby.
Hier soirée très vite.
Amina a fait sortir la caméra.
Monter un pays m'a suivi.
Amants du cinéma, Maura Junior Etienne vous invite à la grande première de sa nouvelle série Massuffé qui se tiendra le dimanche 5 décembre à 5h PM au prestigieux ballroom de Marriott Hotel situé au 5150 Town Center Circle, Boca Raton. Avant la projection, Queen Maya vous fera jouir la richesse de son répertoire. Joshua Bonchois vous séduira par son style si adulé par la jeunesse. Et le comédien-acteur Atis Panche comme invité d'honneur et maître de cérémonie. Il va se mentionner Guy Wewe Live, invité de Marc. La première partie de la série Massuffé met en vedette Benita Jacques venant du Canada, Huberman Saint-Hilaire, Ederson Klatt, Maura Junior Etienne, Queen Maya, Omer Jean et bien d'autres encore. Dimanche 5 décembre, Marriott Hotel à Boca Raton, la série Massuffé en grande première. Admission $50, VIP $100. Tickets en vente à Chris Stephanie's, RC Caribbean Restaurant, Telecono, Prosperity Restaurant, Quincy's Corner et sur eventbrite.com at Massuffé Series Première. Info 561 503 0035.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
And you know I'm a fighter. And I give it to Beverly as well, and to some of, I can't do it alone. I was the only person that had some sins that night. And I must say that, I'm not getting into politics. And because what was happening, they went and the council, as you all know right now, I'm not really too pleased with city administration, so we're not going to talk about that tonight. But the city council decided to vote, well, which they didn't have to do it, by the way. They chose to do it while 2 weeks prior, and I know I see some folks that was here during the budget season, I was again fighting for this district alone. And a couple cities, residents was there. But they decided to put up the water. There was 3 people who stood up, including myself as the council person, but 2 residents who spoke in opposition of that. So your water bill that's 3 something, let's just hope by December it's not 4 something. Yes. Because it's been in the mail and they sent the little notice. Now, the water bill will eventually do go up. The problem was with the issue is the process that they decided to do it. And I feel that we're in the middle of a pandemic. The way they did it, I did not support and I did not like, and I spoke very, very adamant against it. Because we had just had a budget where they gave different people, different departments, I think they cut your budget, right? Well, they cut mine too. Different things. And then 2 weeks later, they went and voted saying that they needed the extra money. When you read the report that went along with why they need the extra money, it also had within that report that it was going to pay some employees on pension as part of the payment plan. So I say all this to say yes, but I do need a little participation, because I think if there was a couple more people down there, I think they would have been a little bit taken back, and because I do think a lot of my colleagues were a little bit not giving the right information, but they voted, so your water bill by December will go up. They say 9%, but I do not think, I think it's a little bit more. From what I mean.
$60 a year?
Yes. Well, I think it's probably more than that. Oh yes, yes, this is it. And then that was incorrect because they sent another one.
So I have a question about
yes.
If I could just quickly translate really quickly, just a piece of what you said. Parce que nous comprenons que l'on a augmenté et effectivement le dépôt avec quoi nous tenons ça bien, même le lit en anglais. Mais ça important c'est que il y a une bagage que quand tu mets des dit c'est que si tu as plus de gens qui participent dans la réunion, c'est ça qui peut encourager le conseil là faire travail que vous avez besoin de faire pour ne pas monter le niveau. Donc c'est pour ça qu'il est extrêmement important que le grand réunion fait voir au passé. Et ça me va faire c'est que vous allez étudier communautaire sur qui gens que vous fait voir au passé, parce que surtout avec la pandémie, pendant que nous pas qu'à rentrer dans City Hall, pas qu'à trop de monde en chambre côté que vous réunissez, nous allons aller dans le téléphone pour quitter un message qui dit qui gens que nous-mêmes nous sentons, nous allons envoyer un email et moi-même m'appeler. So au moins voir à passer même le pas à là physiquement, parce que vous connaissez que pile de nous travail, pile de nous pas de moyens pour quitter dans cette école là. Donc pour commencer à faire éducation, ça c'est des gens qui connaissent, mais carrément pour connaître, so moi là pour ça. One of the things that I just mentioned is just tagging along to the point that was made about the need for folks to participate in the council meetings and make sure that your voice is heard. What I just said in Creole is the fact that ever since the pandemic, we have tried to create ways for folks to be able to express how they feel about certain things.
Yes, in Creole.
Yes, I will translate.
Très important. Nous devons quitter le message en créole, en créole. Dis-moi ça, nous voulons pas besoin de tel bagage, tel bagage.
También en español. Dame sa the young lady here had a comment.
As a long-time resident, I've been in over here almost 40 years. I agree with what she said, you gotta go to the meetings, because 3 years ago, they were trying to put your garbage and stuff on your tax bill. And we went out and fought it.
We were trying to do that.
We went out and fought it so that they do not put it on our tax bill, because a lot of our residents are retired residents. Alex knows, and I'm going to ask this question again. A lot of you may not be aware of it, but that piece of property on 7th Avenue, there, the Wendy's, City of North Miami paying $19,000 per month
22.
on an empty piece of lot for the next 15 years.
22,000.
That's why our water bill is going up. Okay? Because when I calculated, and I even asked the mayor when they were going up for the water bill, that's $3.3 million. Okay? Why we, the resident, have to pay for that? Because the elected official and wherever they hire in management, they do whatever they want to do. Because the meeting...
Take me out of that.
No. They do what they want to do. Okay? And I must say, out of all my councilmen in this neighborhood, Alex has been the only one that has stand up for us all the years I've been over here. And I must say that. So you guys have to get out to the meeting, and another thing, they need to keep the meeting a little later because they start too early, and working people do not get off work till 5:30, 6 o'clock. So they need to find a way to get rid of that $19,000 a month. Find a way to get out of the empty piece of land and find that money to put towards our water. We paid for meters to go in the back, from the back of our yard to the front of our yard. What the city did with the money, we don't know. We don't know. Our roads on 120, probably not, they're horrible. They're horrible. So you guys need to get out there and support Alex. Alex cannot do it alone. And he tell us, go to the meeting, and if you don't go to the meeting and speak up, look for that heavy bill coming. Because yes, the bill is going up. I had a neighbor just call me 2 days ago and say, why is the water bill so high? And it's she and her daughter. So I'm encouraging you all to try to turn out.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Jocelyn. Ms.
But
Nelson.
apparently it seems to me that the people that are in charge make up their mind, and it's after they send us the explanation why the bill is going up. So therefore, we are shocked. Oh, and then they tell you since 2014, the water bill didn't go up. So are we dumb? Are we confused? Are we old? What's going on? Come on now. Enough is enough. We're tired of begging. We're tired of pleading. We're tired of everything.
And I think that's part of the reason why the councilman and I decided to have a forum like this, because these things need to be said now, right? Before these decisions are made. And so, you know, thank you so much for us being able to partner on this.
But I think when your water bill starts coming, so I'm one person you guys don't call. But the other, no, seriously, I started a program 5 years ago.
Is it up and running?
Well, some people benefit from it, but officially it hasn't because we haven't had that much money. And I started the program because of you guys. And this program is a concert that we do every year called the Nomi Fest, Music Fest concert. And the proceeds that we collected, because I knew this was going to be a problem. The water has to go up, and we know. But it's what do we do and to help the residents, because you guys cannot afford it, in the process of how we're doing it. And we were supposed to determine, guideline and who gets it and how do we get it. We don't have enough money. We haven't had enough money in the program, and no one is there to write the grants to help out the residents. But this issue that you mentioned, it came up on the council 2 weeks ago. There was a commissioner who came up with the same concept of bringing back, considering putting the water bill, well, the utility bill, on your taxes. And maybe it was the last meeting, I don't recall. But we had to, and I'm glad that some of my colleagues joined me, push back very hard to say, no. We will make sure that we help the residents, do what we do to make sure they pay the water bill, and we have to get programs to help subsidize the water bill. We used to help doing that with $1 million. So we could have done that instead of giving the people the raise. I don't know what they're doing, but that's a whole different story. But that's part of the problem. So with me and administration not seeing eye to eye is in the process of how, but I'm one vote. I truly believe that if we had a massive of folks, but you guys didn't know either, because I didn't know that, I knew a couple of days before that when the agenda published that it was going to be on there. But it was the way it was put, the ordinance was put on there that they were going to raise it. It's very, very trouble. Huh?
It's going to be a third increase?
It's going to be a lot. No, that increase. You haven't gotten it yet. It's coming.
All right, it is 7:22, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So if there are any comments, I see. Somebody has the mic here, and then after that.
Moi, j'ai habité dans les Loretti, mais je ne sais pas si ça moi ici. Son seul bagage ici, parfois, yo garde grand monde, parfois. Et tout le temps passé les Loretti, moi je viens passer tout le temps, plus de temps là, parce que moi je viens acheter. On va payer au caille pour moi devant, parce que moi je vais acheter caille ici. Toutes les fois qu'on va payer, il va faire gros plancher d'air, il va acheter quoi. Pendant depuis que je viens dans la zone, même baigner, je ne vais pas bien facile. Pour qui ça? Comme je la ville de l'Abini, Maria l'a considéré bilan, maintenant vous ne pas baigner. C'est plus gros problème, on dit. Qui fait comme montant nous dit bien que là passer dans zone ça c'est à faire marché moi de l'eau à balancer tout en l'air mais après c'est dans mes ville Miami nous acheter de l'eau même moi si nous sommes city beaucoup de panneaux nous cap procurer de l'eau pas si nous procurer de l'eau pas non monde qui est résident va souffrir dans ça et c'est moi ça m'apprend par contre c'est vrai. Et que moi je dois balancer pour ici dans 121, mais on dit c'est dans en bas de Miami, il a acheté tout. Moi je me demandé, comme une dame ça dit que c'est assez d'Asinov. Moi je me dis d'Asinov, moi je dis si nous grand monde c'est vrai, c'est pour nous procurer de l'eau par nous, pour les gens qui dans la cité pas souffrir tout souffre ça. Et l'autre ça me dit pour me dire, bien que me demande police là en sécurité par contre qui est lié. Si meilleur la parole dit là. Et j'ai un problème caille moi qui crasé. Depuis que je m'achète là, je vais acheter le crasé. Mais je vais comme ça le crasé. Chaque moule et ça fait yo dit pour ça fait de l'eau gaspiller. Je vais pas prendre ça parce que chaque 3 mois mon nan vini consécutivement comme parole contrôler de l'eau, lui voit combien de l'eau a monté. Si c'est quand mon crasé qui ta cause, je crée ça t'as problème pas. Moi me demander s'il vous plaît pour dire un mot parce que moi grand monde j'ai 66 ans, j'ai besoin de baigner lèvres vlé. Lorsque grand monde pas baigner, ou pas super good. Moi besoin de baigner lèvres vlé et puis vous marier pas un péché ça cause et puis la pour lui faire le péché baigner. Et encore dis-nous encore quand mon crasé c'était dans Joe Célestin, c'était une grande réunion que tu fait. Mais moi, à cause de ma jambe de travail, je suis sur
Bel Talk Show Magazine.
Pour
Pouvoir, puissance.
Oh oui, c'est ça seulement qui te manque dans la communauté. Ariol Music School vient avec pour nous. Ariol Printing and T-shirt Service. Yo fait printing sur toute bagaille, maillot, chapeau, képi, drapeau, gobelet, plaque, etc. N'importe quantité et yo rapide. Candidat, groupement, jazz, équipe fanatique football, business qui gagne pile employé. Pour semaine ça, yo gen 10% off pour toute l'église qui besoin printer maillot. Garantie 100%, y a bon travail professionnel. Relais Ariol Printing and T-shirt Service. 786 357 0014. Relais dans 786 357 0014. Y a bon service là.
Pouvoir, puissance.
Bon, moi, il est belle là. Belle.
Aubry.
Koto est là.
Moi dans le studio. Et ou même koto est là.
Dans Sherlin Bloom.
Ou pral shopping. Ou pas menem.
Belle, viens voir.
M'a vini.
Wow. Wow.
P.I.
Beautiful.
P.I.
Blandi P.I. Dans Sherlin Bloom.
Tout ça m'bat pravant m'a prêt tout jodi a. Ser nan Sherlin Bloom.
Bella.
Aubry.
Est-ce que songe condition dans Sherlin Bloom?
Très bien mon frère. 3 costumes, 3 chemises, 3 cravates, 3 paires chaussettes, 3 mouchoirs poche pour seulement $373.
Dans Sherlin Bloom.
Kon samble dou.
Dimanche 28 novembre, week-end Thanksgiving nan, FIU tête droite. Diaspora Festival lié Toto. Diaspora Entertainment a présenté dans FIU North Stadium 2655 North East 151e Street 16e édition Diaspora Festival. Année ça, mariage boulak musique là prend l'autre niveau. Pendant toute journée, boule à bouler, musique à frapper. Équipe célébrité au faire face carré avec vétéran de Miami, solution contre Phantom Barbershop, désir contre TL Barbershop, Haïti avec Jamaïque pour rouler ballon. Et puis ambiance musicale, boucan fait à classe. Tony Mix, Click, Divac, DJ Nicky Mix, Billy Mix, Pascal, Dieguido et DJ Wagaboulou NYC pour faire Titi fait volant, mettre cérémonie, coach roller. Admission $20. Patronné par coach roller école de sport, Dr. Sano Chiropractor, Allen TV, Radio Mega, Pay Here, NG Production, Infoline, 786 290 61 66, 954 263 46 90, 786 619 58 80.
For the past 5 years, they've been bringing you the biggest party Thanksgiving weekend. South Florida, mark your calendars as Glacio Tushendus and Explosion Entertainment presents the official Free Thanksgiving Bash with a grand performance by Back in the Game, Eki. It's Eki for the Free Thanksgiving Bash inside of Club Tatiana, Hollandale, Old Soul, one of HMI's biggest before the big feast, we'll be turning up in Hollywood. Wednesday night, November 24th, inside of Club Tatiana, Hollandale, Old Soul.
His girl is a blessing,
It's Kenny ID. Halftime by DJ Paz and DJ Enol. Hosted by AJ305. The pre-Thanksgiving Bash. Wednesday night, November 24th. Club Tatiana. Dress code will be strictly enforced. Tickets are available now at eventbrite.com. For info and table reservations, call 786-277-2854 or 786-277-1093.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Radio 1320. Nous avons tout petit programme, tout gros programme. Marcher dans le là, faire tout le monde en ligne. Et puis, nous avons un pile papier. Nous faisons un poté au baillot aussi. Après, nous faisons papier ça. Moi, ouvrir ou choisir pour parler. C'est marié à ce monde qui traite, je ne vais pas dire n'importe parole. Pour me finir quand tu parles au complet, je peux te balayer. Il est venu marquer un bonheur, là, le sien vraiment. Il dit qu'il est pour le ministère, là, le sien. Mais depuis le fin de sien, je ne vais pas parler avec, je ne vais pas comprendre rien. Mais quand on crasé, les camions finissent crasé pour avoir un bon, les tomber dedans, tout si les tomber dedans, faire dedans. Non, bon. Pour nous laisser gros qui vert, gros qui, nous mettez pour nous ramasser. Nous avons bête pour le cahier. S'il vous plaît, comme un magistrat fait effort, il vient devant la porte pour aussi couvrir le cadre pour moi. Moi, besoin de connaître, est-ce que nous avons un plan comme ça? Est-ce que c'est un plan qui pousse le garçon ou si pour le femme? Parce que si vous êtes marié, c'est un plan tout est. Et ça, dernier mot que je tout ça, je fais si un cas pendant 2 fois marié, et puis Kaisa, il vient sur nos seul lui-même. C'est moi ça me besoin de connaître, est-ce que une loi américaine mandé sous si un cas marié, puis si marié a été non sur Kaisa?
Oh non.
Ok, so il y a une question que nous ne pouvons pas répondre directement parce que c'est une question personnelle, mais ça n'a fait. Summer, if you can bring a notepad and a pen so you can take down her information, and then you n'avez pas que vous avez mentionné was the.
Yeah, besoin pour me clarifier les autres bagages dit. Bagages personnels, nous pas répondre mais non, nous pas une loi pour garçons, bien loi pour filles, sont ces lois seulement qui gagnent. So, bagages légaux, ça sont l'autre issue. La demande c'est pour nous aider le manger là, mais quand il n'est pas souvent avec Maria.
Oh, one translation, it sounded so juicy.
Yes. We'll get into it.
Certain things
But
don't
yes,
need to be
you don't need to
translated.
yeah. But any other questions?
I just have a quick, just want to recognize our new city manager and also Alex. If you have a problem, reach out to her. It doesn't matter what time of the day, whatever it is, she will respond back to you.
Well, it
Our new
depends.
city manager Alex.
But it's because I had sent you to her directly, so I wouldn't.
So, will Ms. Gypsy?
Thank you so very much. I just want to say that I really appreciate this forum. And I think that the comments and questions that we've heard tonight indicate the need for more of these. So I would recommend that you look at maybe one issue or single issue forums to give the residents more opportunities to ask questions, to understand from water, billing, processes and procedures, to CRA, economic development, job creation, to housing, and even to your most recent initiative to acquire the Johnson & Wales property. I think it serves you well when your residents understand what the issues are such that they can be better informed and definitely better engaged. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad just mentioned that. Thank you so much. We actually do have these forums. We haven't had live forums, and that's why I think Vanessa and I jumped at the opportunity. As a matter of fact, what we ended up having, Gypsy and Instagram, we even had a telephone forum where they call in, and we have telephone conference. So the next one we're supposed to have. It's supposed to be next month, right before the holidays, and it's going to be focusing only on the water bills. And I'm just doing
And thank you so much, Ms. Gypsy. And this is definitely part of a series that we're going to have. So, and you know, hoping that more and more people will be able to get involved. We can only take just a couple more questions. So I saw 3 hands up. The one that's been waiting is Mr. Pierre Fletcher has been waiting. Then Ms. Judy Brown.
Thank you. Good evening, and so nice to see some faces that I know. My question, aside from everything that has been said in here, and I think I am part of it, including the water bill and everything. In the back of my property, there is an alley, and I think it's been, from what I've been told from my neighbor, this is where they used to collect the garbage back in the days, and this thing is not properly maintained. It is a mess. We got rats, and of course, the friend that I don't like, I'm seeing snakes from time to time in my backyard. So for Christmas, that's my gift. I'm going to give it to myself as a gift. I am going to clean up my pot. But the thing is that by cleaning up my side is not going to help out, because we have it from Northwest 8th Avenue all the way down to Northwest 10th Avenue. So my question is that, is there any way that we can get some help cleaning up this mess and see if we can, you know, get it done one thing for all, because it is not really helping.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question. That I've spent, since I've been here, at least over $200,000 in subsidizing, helping the residents. That is not our responsibility, but of course I know where we are as a district, and I've been begging administration, previous administration and this one, and they understand, they work with us. We had an issue on 16th Avenue in between 16th and 17th, similar thing. That is your responsibility and your neighbor. So whoever do it, they are part of the problem. They are supposed to clean that area, not the city, because it belongs to both of the residents. So I had to make sure I walk down all of my block and tell my neighbors. And so when you go down my block, we don't have that issue. So walk and tell them they have to clean it. It's not really us.
Well, I am going to clean up my side, but
thank you.
But tell them.
So Miss Judy Brown.
Now my question
Roberto.
my question is, the parks, the centers open. Like I would like to have my homeowners meeting starting up again in person. And my question is, do we have access to the centers now, or is it still closed?
Yeah. From what we know, they're still closed, but we're definitely going to bring that up so that administration can have a serious talk, and the Parks Department can have a talk about what to do moving forward.
They closed, so they're not going to talk to me. We're in COVID, they closed.
Thank you so much. And then, ma'am, you had a question too?
I did.
Roberto, there's a question right here. She was here. She was asking first. Her hand was up first.
Yes, good afternoon. Do we have senior centers for elderly people can go and swim and so on? Because I used to go over to the pool. The pool is not accessible for older people going down the ladder. It is ridiculous. I have to go to Ocola Lakes every day to swim. This is pathetic. When I call City in North Miami, the pool is always closed. But I'm not going down those stairs at 71 years old to go in no pool. That's ridiculous. So you need to get something that is accessible for people to go, because I even used to take a aerobics over there. But you have to climb down that ladder. I think it's ridiculous. I live in the city of North Miami for 40-something years, and I have to go to Cola Lakes to swim. That is pathetic.
Definitely, I'll bring that up as well when I speak to the Parks Department.
Well, but I got it, ma'am. We got it. I thought but Miss Brown, don't the senior girls in the pool? Didn't they do some class? No? Okay. No, that's how
they spent all the money on making those loops around the place and putting some lights up. Instead of redoing the pool, what we begged for, lockers and facilities so the seniors could go in and we could use the pool. So just like her, we go down to Ocola Lakes, Miss Vivian, myself, and everybody here, when we have a pool that's less than 5 minutes from our house. But they wouldn't do it. They spent it on the facade. Okay, the rings around the buildings and putting up lights. And the lockers in the pool is still there from 1950 when they first built the thing. It's horrible down there. It's
well,
not.
You're getting a new pool, Miss Brown.
Yes, but not for us. It's going to be in Central City.
No, for us. That's a surprise.
I hear that. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming too.
You do need a senior center in the city of North Miami for elder people. You do. Every city has a senior center.
We have one final question.
I just told her that. It's a mess.
So many chickens, nothing I could do about that. I can't save them. I get one after them. I really don't need help about that.
Absolutely. I think, Madam Clerk, there is someone from the clerk's office. Give your name. When you have those situations, call me. because we had the same thing. In fact, Virginia had called me, Ms. Gilmore. We have this situation all over the city, by the way. In fact, District 3 is worse, and when you get over to District 1, but we had it a couple months ago, and it was bad. And the chicken's all over. As a matter of fact, Ms. Brown, you know, what's his name across the street from me, Clarence Burke. There's a whole, like 10 chicken. I was leaving my house, I said, whoa, what with this? So we did call the chief, and the city manager she was very much on top of it, so we did an Operation Chicken. In fact, I did a newsletter, and I sent out, because it's illegal, into having some, but there's some stuff with the law that said you could have some of them as a pet. I didn't know. But it's really, really bad. But if you have them, let us know, and then there's something, animal control, there's something that we could do to mitigate that situation. Yes.
Can I just say something about that? Okay. We have our chief and animal control, they're working diligently to catch chicken. If you want to see chicken, go on Griffin Boulevard. There are hundreds of them over there. And Mike is out there daily trying to catch these chicken. They even set the coop trying to get the chicken. The chief is out there trying to catch the chicken with Mike. So they're working on that. That's why I was calling you up to say something about that. But they're working on the chicken.
Yes. Thank you. And special shout out to North Miami Police. Thank you so much. All right, so we've come to the conclusion. Nous finissons avec is it a chicken issue?
The chicken issue too, but I have a different concern.
Okay, just a different concern, quickly.
I mean, I think I've said the same thing on every meeting from 119 to 125. There's always fast speeding on that area. Why is it so hard to have speed hump on that area? I mean, why is it so hard? I mean, I've said this on every meeting. The lighting is not good, and they always speeding like crazy. Why can't we just put some, speed hump? I mean...
Yeah, I know. Send us an email. It starts with... 119 to 120. Sorry? Send us an email. It starts with an email, but it's not us. We have the money. That's one thing that we'd love to do. But the county is the problem. As a matter of fact, on 120th and 16th Avenue, they had a circle because they were trying to get a circle as well. That looks really, really nice. And the county would not approve nothing. So once you send me an email, we have a transportation manager. We send it downtown. Of course, they're going to deny it, and we kind of fight them. And we try to do, we did put some speed bump that was not, legal. But the county had us remove, So we will start the process and keep, it's not us. We have the money, but they have to give us the permission. And more than likely, they go around and say no, no, no. But she had a thing that took 15 years. But I think that was our issue. And she's finally going to get it, a traffic circle on 16th Avenue, after 15 years, before I got into office. But she was on me every year.
I had all my emails.
Yes, Lord. Yes, she did. Yeah. So we got that fixed. So if you send the email, it starts on the thing. But thank you again, Madam Clerk. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay. Also, sorry. Also, I'm collecting signatures for petition for speed bump. We have. Okay, we're taking them to the county. Yeah, and actually the county came to a meeting and asked us to collect signatures.
It's a process, because they have to come out and they got to put machines up and
they
check all the traffic coming in and out.
Bel Talk Show Magazine.
Pouvoir, puissance.
Oh oui, c'est ça seulement qui manque dans la communauté. Ariol Music School vini avec pour nous. Ariol Printing and T-shirt Service. Yo fait printing sur tout bagay, maillot, chapeau, képi, drapeau, gobelet, plaque, etc. N'importe quantité et yo rapide. Candidat, groupement, jazz, équipe fanatique football, business qui grand pile employé. Pour semaine ça, yo gen 10% off pour toute l'église qui besoin printer maillot. Garantie 100%, y a bon yon travail professionnel. Relais Ariol Printing and T-shirt Service 786 357 0014. Relais dans 786 357 0014. Y a bon service là.
Pouvoir, puissance.
Bonjour tout le monde, quel que soit côté ou après de nous dans l'État Florida. Moi c'est Pierre Sibilien Vizel. Yon représentant pour compagnie qui relève non-gène génitorial. Non-gène génitorial côté pour un service clinique, commercial et résidentiel qui nettoyait tels que banque, casino, hôtel, restaurant, maison, l'église, l'hôpital, clinique, car wash, pressure wash, facto et latrier. Si vous avez besoin de nous, relevez-nous dans le bureau à Kounia, dans le numéro 786 868 33 51. Vous pouvez facilement nous dans le numéro qui c'est 786 254 70 55. Ou bientôt, si vous êtes en Saint-Thomas, déplacez-vous à DG dans l'adresse Monkishita, dans le numéro 935 Nord 10, 125e Suite, North Miami, Florida. Nous, Jen, votre satisfaction est toujours notre priorité. Wow!
Not Miami, how you ready? A big event is coming your way. Yes, la 6e édition de PHMA Music Awards arrive. Ça va se passer à Not Miami Beach le samedi 15 janvier 2022. 2022, nouvelle année, nouvelle occasion pour PHMA Music Awards d'honorer les artistes. La diva Carole de Mesmet, Tiva, Cadillac, Beijing, Florence Luce, équipe New Look Down in the Sky, Felicia was impossible. Goody Good Boy, Richel Guillaume, Vibe, Maestro, Classe, Choumi, Harmonique, Kai, Osval. Ce même 15 janvier 2022, le commissaire Paul Villa et PHMA Music Awards vont honorer et promouvoir également les chefs d'entreprise, infirmières, professeurs. Nous tout attendons ça. 15 janvier 2022, notre Miami Beach, nous pral by look là. Trace to impress. Tapis rouge, 5h. Spectacle, 7h du soir. Halftime, DJ Pass et DJ FMA. Contact 786 357 95 58 et 37 73 14 43. Nous commencez à voter sur www.haitianmusicawards.info. On prend son ticket et puis let's go. Ça va être le show du HMA Music Awards.
Moi, il est belle là. Belle.
Aubry.
Koto est là.
Moi dans le studio. Et ou même koto est là.
Dans Sherlyn Bloom.
Ou pral shopping. Ou pas menen.
Belle. Viens voir.
M'a vini.
Wow. Wow.
P.I.
Beautiful.
P.I.
Blandi P.I. Dans Sherlyn Bloom.
Tout ça m'bat travail, m'a prêt tout jodi a. Serre dans Sherry Bloom.
Bella.
Aubry.
Est-ce que songe condition dans Sherry Bloom?
Très bien mon frère. 3 costumes, 3 chemises, 3 cravates, 3 paires chaussettes, 3 mouchoirs poche pour seulement $373
dans Sherlyn Bloom.
Comme ça me doux.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.
Thank you so much. So just a couple of quick announcements before we wrap up. We are at the end. And if you have any questions, please see Roberto or Summer Jones in the back. They'll take down whatever it is that you'd like to say or any questions that you may have. Again, if you have a public comment that you would like to make, even if it's not specific to an agenda item, feel free to call 305-895-9803. Again, 305-895-9803. You can leave a voicemail message. It'll be transcribed. It's only up to 2 minutes, but we'll transcribe it and read it at a city meeting. You can also send comments to public comments at northmiamifl.gov. Which, again, it's really important that you all make your voices heard, and feel free to reach out to my office, 305-895-9817. In addition to that, I encourage everybody to be part of homeowners associations in your area. So if you are in District 4, there is Sunkiss Grove Homeowners Association. Please see Miss Judy Brown so that you can get signed up and become part of it. And Miss Beverly, I want you to also talk about the crime prevention work that you're doing and the help that you're trying to get for that.
Okay, so I wanted to say this before you go. Okay, for crime prevention, I just want to let you know, everyone's, mostly seniors, Social Security, they never call you. IRS doesn't call. But you'll get calls when people say they are from Social Security, they ask you for your information, taboo. Don't ever give your information over the phone. If they call you and say you're from Social Security, thank you very much, you have my number already, why do I need to give it to you? Don't have any conversation with them. They're trying to get your information and they'll go into your account or they'll set up an account in their name.
Let me say that in Creole.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, gen moun ki konjwen appel mais soi-disant social sécurité et kap di que yo besoin information ou pas bay information personnelle ou par téléphone quel que soit moun kap relo non que c'est social que c'est Western Union qu'on relè, IRS qu'on relè, soi-disant, c'est pas eux-mêmes. Si vous besoin, c'est pas comme ça, après l'eau pour prendre des informations par téléphone, ok?
Even FPL.
Even FPL, Western Union, Verizon, soi-disant Verizon, ça arrive pas par information personnelle ou de téléphone. Plutôt, just prendre le numéro 1 et puis faire un mot checker pour ça.
Okay, so, just one other thing. Okay, so my job is to come to your house, I'll knock on your door, get your information. What we do, we do crime prevention. When I get all the names for the block that I'm working on, we'll come out and we'll have Miami Dade as a part of our group. We'll set up crime prevention. We'll have our zone officer for your area. They'll come out and talk to you about crime prevention. If your house been broken in, we'll talk about how to prevent it from happening again. And this is done, right now we're doing teleconferences. We're not going out on the block because of the COVID. Next week I have a meeting and maybe I can have you join us. We're doing 3 blocks and it's on the phone. You stay in your house, you call a number and we answer your question and we go through the process. I've done quite a bit in this area already, but I'm working on the east side right now, then I'll come back on this side. So you'll see me again, and I'll be calling you, I need you to make a commitment. So the next meeting, make a commitment to yourself to bring your neighbor, because we talk about the water bill, and I send out texts to residents, and the only people that were there are probably about 3 people at the meeting. So we need people to come out to meeting, okay? Thank you so much.
Awesome. And so I just want everybody to know that there is cooked food. All right. Yes, there's cooked food. And so please pick up a plate on your way out. And there's also some food packages. So if you or your neighbor may be in need of some bags of food, please feel free to get one as well on your way out. Thank you all so much for coming. Huh?
Caribbean Art Fest next weekend.
Oh yes, Caribbean Art Fest is next weekend, November 20th. So please n'oubliez de venir in Griffin Park, and the flyers are in your bag. If you did not receive a bag, please on your way out also get a gift bag. There are some in the front as well.
Merci tout le monde, nous sommes bien contents, nous avons passé un bon moment ça. Ensemble avec nous, BPX TV Réseau est live. Ensemble avec nous, dans notre Miami, nous a fait que tout le monde a des problèmes que vous gagnez dans la City Sala. City notre Miami, tu es obligé de City notre Miami spécialement, tu es accompagné de vice-mayor Alex Desulmé qui est venu nous en pile précision dans l'activité ça. En pile monde plaignent de problèmes que vous gagnez dans la City of Miami. A lot of people talk about problems in City of Miami They have water problems, labor problems. Nous sommes bien contents de toute activité, ça, parce que nous, Haïtiens, nous pouvons dire problème que nous gagnons. Eh bien, je dis là, ça a été fait ensemble avec nous, surtout avec un pile de monde qui est dans les beaux là, dans notre city, notre Miami. Nous sommes bien contents de ça. Forum, ça, il demande que vous le faites plus souvent, pour chaque monde capable de faire des problèmes que vous gagnez, surtout dans le city, notre Miami. Nous sommes bien contents de tout, ou même qui participent avec nous, sur BPX TV Réseau, toute activité ça, qui a fait là. Quel que soit le monde qui était par Robert, nous disons merci. Quel que soit le monde qui est venu dans Cap Gardé, nous la Caillou, nous disons merci. Un plus bel show pareil, nous gagné la semaine prochaine. Ni moi-même, ni Kenny, ni mon fils bien-aimé, à toute l'équipe là en général, nous pouvons dire BPX TV Réseau, dis-nous Kembe la Palagé et à tous les amis camarades. Merci tout le monde et à bien la prochaine. Enjoy.
Bel Talk Show Magazine, une équipe solide pour un magazine solide de 10h à midi, du lundi au samedi. Reprise de 1h à 3h du matin sur Télé Indépendance, chaîne 18.10 Digital Miami, BPX TV Réseau et Haïti en direct à travers le monde entier. Tout cela pour vous apporter le bonheur auditif chez vous. Avec des rubriques différentes, les femmes d'abord, causément des chaises, qui ça la jeunesse besoin, cuisine ses richesses, HPP mini-série, Bel Talk Show Magazine avec Sonny Belenforme, Aubry Blague, Régine Bastien et Gauthier Bernard. Bel Talk Show Magazine, pour toutes vos publicités, promotions et invitations, veuillez nous contacter au 786 642 35 35. Bel Talk Show Magazine, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne.